Not a lot of bands make 10 albums, so how did the Offspring fare on their 10th outing? Welcome to Everyone Does Music, where today we're looking at the 10th studio album from American rock band The Offspring called Let the Bad Times Roll. But before things actually get started too fast in this review, I actually wanted to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor. I have my first sponsor on either of my YouTube channels, and it feels good. It's different, but let's just get straight to it. My sponsor for today is Studio Findings. Studio Findings is this brand that my friend runs where she makes a whole bunch of things from resin crafts such as cup holders, a little coffin like memento holders and such, to more recently she's working on more accessory-based things, as well as she actually made the hoodie right here that you see me wear pretty often. And then, like, as obviously I'm wearing right now, you can see right there it's backwards because of review, but it actually says Vanna right there. And here on the back, hopefully this shows up somewhat good, is actually the back design. And right here I actually have one of the coasters she made for me, just a little custom thing. This is the cover of Acceptance Speech by Dance Gavin Dance. You can't really see it too well. If you guys actually go to her profile right now, you'll get $2 off your first order for the first 3 people that go place an order with Studio Findings. Just tell her that you have the code RayRonu5. Anyways, let's get to the actual review now. These guys are a recognizable name in the alternative music scene for such hit songs such as The Kids Aren't Alright, You're Gonna Go Far Kids, Slim Pickens Does the Right Thing, so on and so forth. Not many people know this, but The Offspring has been around for quite a fucking while. They're actually coming up on 37 years as a band. And that's up there with like Green Day, Metallica, I think even Megadeth in terms of like bands with that long tenures, and it's honestly wild to even think about, let alone, sit there and hear. Their early work had a decidedly more punk leaning until they adopted the more recognizable sound that they have now, but overall I think their whole discography is something that's worth checking out if you have a couple hours spare in the day to just go back, listen to some early stuff, and listen to some of the newer albums and see how they progressed over the years. This album is actually the band's first new album since 2012's Days Go By, and a lot of people kind of fell off the hype train for this album because it faced numerous delays over the past, I believe, 2 years. At first, it was because of the COVID-19 pandemic and everything that was affected overall by the pandemic. And then Dexter Holland, the lead singer of The Offspring, decided to get a PhD. So that's fucking cool. But close to 9 years after the release of, again, their 2012 album Days Go By, here we have Let the Bad Times Roll. And let's see what we have here in the album. The band has always been known for being able to pull bait and switch with their albums, being able to do a serious, slow-paced or hard-hitting song, then switching into something that's just carefree and just the boys having fun, and you get that on the album here too. While we do have some stuff that leans more into pretty fly for a white guy and go get a job, we're gonna start things off on the more serious vibe, going into the beginning of talking through this review here, and let's talk about the track This Is Not Utopia, as well as the title track Let the Bad Times Roll. Both of these songs are full of energetic verses and choruses, and the latter song there, Let the Bad Times Roll, is your typical fuck the government song, but with a little added spice to it that The Offspring has employed several times over. Dexter Holland was actually quoted as saying that they could have just made a song called Trump is a Shithead, but that would be too easy. And I think that's a really good attitude to have, whereas they see an easy way to go about a song, or in this case maybe just an easy title, and they think, okay, we could just go blatant balls to the wall, or we could kind of peel back a little bit and try and add some more layers to it, some more definition to what would just be a base idea. The song has sarcastic tones riddled all over it, and the chorus is almost a sort of like fuck it, sing song, kind of lean back and just let the bad times roll as the song goes. And it's a really nice touch on what is overall, again, a sarcastic song, one that just takes Offspring's core idea of just being a for fun band, 4 guys in a band just having the time of their lives, but also trying to take a serious topic on at the same time, so they're able to balance both the not-so-serious and the more serious vibes together on the title track. There's plenty of wordage used in direct opposition to the already named antagonist here. Lines like, gonna build a wall, let you decide, are straight pointed fingers, and an early signal that The Offspring is out of fucks to give on this album. Talking about the next song here, This Is Not Utopia, Dexter Holland actually said that the original title for the song was just Shit Is Fucked Up, and again, common theme on this album so far. This song still communicates that idea, obviously, within the track's contents. This song was finished, produced, pretty much done and over with, and sent to gold standard right before the 2020 riots and overall disrest and just uprising in a way came about, but Dexter said that maybe this song could serve as an anthem for that all the same, as it communicates a lot of the same feelings that those times in America and all around the world really started to produce. While This Is Not Utopia tackles the idea of, yeah, everything around you is crashing, and just all just swarming in all at once. Nothing is going the way it should be going. There's songs that tackle this idea just the same and with just as much legitimacy, such as Army of One, which hammers the point home more than this track does. Lyrics in this track can be interpreted as saying that we, as a nation, we're motivated by few things, but one of them is the undeniable lust we have for blood, fire, and rage. Whether your target is the unjust justice system or just the overall unrest that plagues this nation day in and day out, or you have this sort of rage and bile produced just against just another human being, at the end of the day, sometimes all you become, because of this hate, because of this rage, because of this overall, again, bloodlust, something for violence and something to happen, you sort of become this Army of One, this force within you that makes you feel like you can take anything on, for better and for worse. Again, giving some more descriptions from the main man himself, Dexter, he actually said this is more of like almost like a superhero song kind of vibe to it, but after listening to the track itself, the whole feeling of all this rage and spite building up inside of you and having to put it out against something, against someone, that's the vibe I get more specifically from this track. So far we got political unrest, anger, a direct fuck you to the nation's leader. Well, this wouldn't be an Offspring record without a direct curveball. And this curveball has written hastily in Sharpie along next to a little drawing of a penis, the song called We Don't Have Sex Anymore. Sometimes you just gotta switch things up, more than just lyrically. Sometimes you gotta throw in some different instruments, you know, some little horn section, a little like, it gets a little jazzy, you know, a little something different. Oh, the guitars even switch from typical pop punk centered to more like a groove influenced, like slow, pure rock and roll type of energy here. Lyrically, it's nothing special. You get some nice little rhymey wordplay, and the chorus has some lines that it manages to ride the line between, haha, this is funny, and okay, we're getting a little cringy. And I think it really depends on who you are as a person and what type of music you listen to overall that makes you really pick which side of the fence you feel like this sits more on. I'm just gonna read a line from the chorus here. If you won't love me, will you hate me? If you won't violate me, will you at least just aggravate me? I love little breaks from the main concept and idea of an album to sort of let the band breathe and let the general overall overarching thematic just kind of take a step back for a moment. And this clarinet and trumpet fueled song about how Dexter Holland hasn't gotten some pussy in just a little while, you know, it's only the Offspring can make this kind of thing sound good. If there's any gripe I do have with the album though, it's the couple limiting factors that this album not only had a development and production cycle from hell, around 5 years in fact, but technically out of the 12-song track order here in the standard edition, only 8 of these songs are new material. The previous released single that was technically our first look into the Offspring's 10th album, Coming For You, was released all the way back in 2015. While this was admittedly put out during a time where a lot of bands are starting to do the put out a single one year, then next year you have the album, sort of akin to like bands like Falling Universe or Bring Me the Horizon started to do post, like they would have a big album, then they would kind of settle back, release miscellaneous singles. That was both a product of its time and also a product of, again, the development hell cycle this album went through. It kind of felt really weird to be listening to this album, get through a few songs, be like, alright, cool, I'm loving this new Offspring material. Then all of a sudden I hear a song that I've been listening to for 5 years already. Along with this, there's a semi-interesting cover of In the Hall of the Mountain King. Again, something I didn't really expect to hear on Let the Bad Times Roll. I'm all for classical, classical songs taken into a band's sound like this. Like, it's really interesting. I'll admit, it's well done. The guitar structure really sounds fantastic with the way that the Offspring put this together. For being on a modern alternative rock album, it's a curveball, not quite as extreme and as powerful as We Don't Have Sex Anymore, but it's, you know, it's interesting. And ending this little mini rant right here, we also have the final 2 songs, the closers to the album, mind you, being a redone version of one of the band's biggest hits, Gone Away, and a reworked version of the album's title track called Lullaby. I can give kudos to the band, I can give kudos to the guys and say, hey, good job on taking an old classic from the band's discography, putting a new spin on it, completely upending and reshaping it. But to me, this is probably the worst way to end an album. You like to pick a song out from years and years ago, over a decade ago, and say, yeah, here you go, wrapped up, new and shiny. This is the last piece of our album. Do you like it? And with the ending track, taking an earlier song from the album's track list and, again, reshaping it, giving it a new spin and a new feeling and emotion completely, it's a good idea, but this feels more like an interlude idea rather than a closing track idea. I would have much rather closed out the album with a song like This Is Not Utopia, or Breaking These Bones, or even the 5-year-old, 6-year-old song, Coming For You would have been a better choice than just the title track redone. It's a more than awkward halt that really, this is what made me sit back and think to myself, wait, hold on. We had those two closing songs, we had the Hall of the Mountain King thing, we had Coming For You, something's not quite, this isn't quite right here. I had to go back and look at the album critically, because I do a casual listen, possibly 2 casual listens if I genuinely enjoy the sound of the album. Then I look at it critically, look at the lyrics and everything. And I really took a look at this and I was like, okay, I need to batten down the hatches and take a look at the new original material and kind of put those 4 songs to the side for a sec. The 8 brand new songs here, they're nothing to cough at though. I mean, we already previously discussed This Is Not Utopia, Let the Bad Times Roll, We Never Have Sex Anymore. I'd like to take a quick moment to shout out Hassan Shah, which is a almost blisteringly paced song that really made me replay a couple times. I feel like in a lot of my reviews I've been posting, I kind of use this term. I go back and I was just blown away a lot. But I genuinely went back to the song and I was like, all right, we're vibrating. It sounded straight up ripped from early material from the band, like something that could have been on pre-Ixnay on the Ombre, the Offspring. And In the Hall of the Mountain King sits as the band's 2nd most instrumentally diverse song in this album, but the Opioid Diaries, if you want a song that stands out from the rest of the Offspring's discography in general, as well as this album, listen to the Opioid Diaries. That is a song you need to listen to and experience, rather than listen to me try to explain it to you. Overall, the band showed that this deep into their career, they can still produce albums that sound good. Comprehensive may not be the word to use here, because this feels more like an EP that received a deluxe edition, but the deluxe edition was just redone stuff, or the other way around. It's really hard. It's hard to place the type of vibe this album gives me overall, as it's satisfying. I came away from it enjoying it, but I also came away with a lot more questions than I had answers. Those 4 songs that were repeats or stuff we already heard kind of brings things down, but it doesn't absolutely doom this album. But it does kind of leave a very impressionable mark on the album regardless. But with all that said, I'm going to be giving Let the Bad Times Roll by the Offspring a 7.6 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you guys enjoyed the album, enjoyed the review, you want to talk to me more about the album, or maybe something I said here in the review that you do or don't agree with, comment it down below. We'll talk some more. I'll reply to you, and we'll just get a conversation going. And don't forget, if you guys go to Studio Findings, I'm going to try and remember to put up another picture of their page right here. Message them, say you want to get custom order done. If you use the code RAYVONU5, the first 3 people to do that, you get $2 off your order. I'm covering the cost for that. That's coming out of my pocket, because I want to see her not only get some more business, but I also want to see you guys get some quality stuff. I mean, come on. Coasters. I don't know if I showed this one. This is from a manga page. Coasters. I know you fuckers drink energy drinks. You need that shit in your life. But spiel over, review over. Again, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Stay hydrated. I'll see you next time.